All right, folks, we are back here on WLTH 1370 AM with Kenneth Joseph, the director of the Johnny Jackson story, and we have a call. You down to talk to some callers? Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello?
you down to talk with some callers?
Of course, yeah.
Yes, yes. Hello, caller.
Well,
Hey, how's it going, brother? What's on your mind?
what's going on? I just happened to turn on the radio, and you guys are talking about a drummer from Gary, and I listened, and I found that you're talking about Johnny.
Yes.
That's cool. That's real cool. Johnny was a real cool guy.
Yes, he was.
I actually I have a story. I was talking to Ronnie and Johnny, and they told me a story about a trip to Minneapolis. I don't know if you guys covered that.
No, no, we haven't.
Oh man, so they're in Minneapolis jamming. Of course, it's the group, and they're on in their hotel, and this kid is running around and knocks on the door, and it's a young kid, young man, and they're just sitting around on the side, and they start saying, "Oh, you're kid, you play? Okay, let's hear you." The kid starts playing stuff, and they end up jamming some of their songs and stuff, and they have a good old time, and he's like, man, what kind of music you do? I do a little bit of everything. And Ronnie said, man, it stayed up till like 3, and the kid wasn't supposed to be up there, but he enjoyed himself, and he was just trying to, see the Jackson 5 and check him out, kind of catch himself off of it. But he said he had so much fun just hanging out with Ronnie and Johnny, Ron and Johnny, that it was just worth it. You didn't have to worry about meeting the guys. He liked, Johnny and Ronnie were really a solid core of the group.
Right.
And what happened was, I forget, it ended up being Prince, man.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
Prince?
bro. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now
Oh, that was Prince? That was
Prince.
Yeah, it was Prince, man. So Prince and he didn't meet anybody but Ronnie and Johnny, and they kicked it like half the night, man. So yeah, I'm a drummer. I actually I used to come in and roadie for Johnny sometimes, and when because he was with White Dove, him, Claude, aka Smoothie, the hell of a rhythm guitarist, and it was cool, man. And so you have these group of mentors, man, all around here in the G, and them and what's another group? Fabulous Kings, the Donnie guys. It's a bunch of cats that, sometimes we can be selfish as musicians, but it's some cats around here that have put down roots, and sometimes roots create other trees. So
Right.
it's definitely good stuff with being from the G, because we end up popping up anywhere, man. I was at Enters when Eric Benet came out with his album, and one of our guys covered because the drummer didn't make it. I almost ended up with him, and a brother named Ray that plays in church out here, he ended up hitting with Eric Benet that night. And I was only there because we were hanging with what's my guy from The Office? I forget his name.
Oh, Craig.
Yeah. It was hanging with Craig, and he was doing all jokes aside.
Yeah.
And me and my boy Rob were carrying the keyboard for Craig, because Craig used to just flip out on the keyboard because he was a teacher, and half his act was throwing you off with the music and then shocking you. It was hilarious. So yeah, man, it's just a good thing, man.
That was a talented brother. So since you knew Johnny personally, what can you tell me? What type of mentor was he for you? Like, what? I mean, you said he was a cool cat, but was he available? Was he available to younger musicians regularly?
Well, you know what? I was just lucky because I hung out with Claude, and then Claude hooked me up with Johnny, and then they were going to Chicago. And I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'4". I hoop. I play basketball, and you want a guy that's gonna carry stuff. So I carry every damn thing. It was fun, and so Johnny was one of the first cats to rock a double bass.
Oh,
so I used the double bass foot pedal now, but if you look at that early stuff, he had 2 bass drums. So he didn't have the hardware to do a double bass foot pedal. I'll rock a double bass foot pedal, but he would have a double bass and do stuff that the rock drummers do, and you'd be like, okay, what was that? He'll go back to the R&B. So he definitely was a different type of cat.
All right, now, well, thank you for your call, brother. Call back anytime. We have another call on the line.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Hello, caller.
Good evening, Scott.
What's
and
up?
to the gentleman. Hey,
Yes.
I didn't know Johnny, but when he got to talk about Gordon Keefe, that was somebody I did know, because Gordon used to come to one of the establishments my dad had in Gary when they would have talent nights. And as
Yes.
you mentioned, Gordon would come there and cheer on the people that were singing and things like that. But it was one thing I will always remember Gordon for, and I used to get mad with him sometimes. He would always want to talk to me about his lawsuit against the Jacksons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he carried that. You were talking about carrying something to the grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I saw him, I met Gordon in the early 90s, and then after my dad closed the club down, I didn't see him for a long time. And then we got back together in church. Come to find out, a church that I joined in 2005, he was a member of. And every Sunday, Gordon would get up and get talking about that lawsuit. And it got to a point to where the pastor had to tell him, Gordon, we don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear about your lawsuit against the Jacksons. And one time I had to tell him, Gordon, he used to come by my shop before he passed. Gordon, don't come up to my shop talking to me about your lawsuit. And he changed, and he would tell me stories about him traveling and with Steel City Records and things like that. Now, those stories I love to hear from Gordon, but when he go into that lawsuit, I'll be like, Gordon, time to go. Time to go. All right, y'all.
All
have
right,
a good
thanks
night.
for your call, Daryl.
Okay.
It's all good. But,
Yeah.
you know, I've heard, definitely, I felt, a lot of us have felt that way at times because, like Daryl said, he definitely did talk about it. But I always try to look at it from his perspective, right?
Correct.
Michael Jackson became the most famous, maybe celebrity who ever lived.
Yes.
I mean, like, think about it. And if you think about it, the Jacksons are probably, outside of the royal family in England, probably the most famous family that ever lived. Okay?
Right.
There are probably no people more famous than the Jacksons as a family that there's ever been. He had a big hand in helping them to get where they were, and he essentially was cut out, not only financially, but in legacy-wise. They came up with this ridiculous story about how Diana Ross had discovered the Jacksons.
Exactly. And that was in my docu-movies as well.
Right.
But the goal is to actually do the story, the movie about Gordon Keefe, his life. And,
Right.
I think that's what it was. That's why he probably talked about it, because he never got it off his chest, and he wanted someone to hear him, and not just hear him, but help him to a certain degree. But then again, hear him. So that's probably why he was always talking about it.
Absolutely. Definitely before you get out of here, I know you're a very busy man. I wanted to ask you, because we have people here. I went to performing arts school. I went to school with a lot of talented people. I was a singer in the music program, but there are definitely people who are in the drama departments and all those other things, the tech departments. What advice would you give young people here in Gary who want to get into making movies?
I think you could never give up. Look at your dreams as a reality. God gave every one of us an ability within ourselves to be able to bring that out. It's already in us, but we just have to bring it out and never give up.
Right.
You know those things right there. And also, for the listeners out there, the Tony Jackson story is going to be at the Gene Sisco Film Center,
Yes.
July the 24th,
Yes.
7 o'clock. That's on a Sunday.
Yes, and they'll be able to rewatch this if you wanna if you maybe didn't catch it right away, you'll be able to catch this on Facebook at WLTH Radio. Right after the show is over, you'll be able to watch this again. So how can people get tickets again?
Yeah, they could go to my website. They go to www.prettyboyfilmsinc.com/tickets. And as soon as you go there, right, you can actually view the two trailers, and then after viewing it, you can just purchase tickets from the site.
Well, all right. Where can people find the rest of your work at?
Pretty much, it's on my website,
Yeah.
prettyboyfilmsinc.com.
Okay. Are you on social media?
Yeah, Kenneth Joseph, Pretty Boy Films, Facebook.
Okay. Definitely, and check out the stuff on YouTube. I watched a lot of the Steeltown record story on YouTube.
Yeah, now, it could have been still on YouTube, but I don't want to deal with YouTube anymore. Here's why. I've had all of these stories up there for like 7 years, and no one has taken it down. Yeah. And then recently, I noticed that they took it down.
Really?
And but that's okay because that's why it's going into the theaters. So.
Well, all right. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to learn about this individual who's an unsung hero for our region, for music in general. You know, I love hearing about these unsung heroes in music. I love covering them because, you know, here on WLTH, they allow me to do that. So thank you for your call.
Thank you so much.
All right now.